when my father, who was a smart, healthy man in his early 80s, was diagnosed with Alzheimer's. Within a very short period of time, he went from losing his driver's license to being confined to a wheelchair, to being bedridden, to passing away. The toll that it took on our family from an emotional perspective, a physical perspective to take care of him, and a financial perspective was unbelievable because he did not have the plan in place. A few years later, my mother had the same issues.
Back in 2007, my mom had a stroke, and I went from the daughter of the house to being her primary caregiver. And like so many others, I thought Medicare, because we did not qualify for Medicaid, would take over while I worked. I was wrong. And, at first I thought, well, I could pay for this out of pocket. That quickly became unsustainable. And then I was consumed with this idea that it was my job to heal her and to return her to where she was. Yeah, the result of that is I got so stressed I cracked a tooth because I was clenching my jaw all the time to stop from screaming that I cracked a tooth. And I remember my dentist saying, "Miss Forbin, how did you crack a tooth?" I was like, "Yeah, I've been a little stressed."
In the course of my life, I know my dad needed long-term care about 2 years ago. And what he did was he was actually walking home one day, his usual route. He's been walking this route for probably 20 years. But that particular day was kind of windy for him. So he was getting really old at that time. Balance wasn't so good. So a big gust of wind actually blew him down. And when he fell, he actually broke his hip. And from that point on, me and my sister became his primary long-term care provider because he really needed help with everything at that point. He needed help bathing, dressing, eating. He was fine, transferring around, toileting. Someone always had to be with him because at that point in his life, he became a fall risk. So I was his primary caretaker for close to about a year. And for those of you who've never experienced being a primary caretaker, just like what Claudette mentioned, it is extremely stressful, right? So as much as we love our parents or our spouses, it's very difficult to really see the people that you've grown up with in such a way that they're not able to function the way you've always known them to function, right? So when we're looking at long-term care, one of the things that I want all you guys on the call tonight to realize is that long-term care doesn't just affect the individual, okay? It affects their loved ones as well.
What long-term care truly is a way to protect and preserve the dignity as well as protect your wealth going into your old age.
But the reality of the situation is, whenever I ask any of my friends, "Hey, listen, do you have a written plan to pay for long-term care?" And you know what their answer always is that, "Oh no, I don't have a plan. I'll deal with it, when I get to that point in life." And that's almost like putting on your seatbelt as you're going through an accident. Okay, it doesn't make any sense, right? Because at that point, okay, you're really out of the loop. Okay, there's really nothing you can do at that point.
So what we want to do here is just to make you aware that we all plan for known events in our life. School, weddings, retirement, vacation, many things are planned for, but long-term care is also a major event that we need to plan for. And you've heard our stories and many reasons why you need to plan for it now. So let's craft a plan so that you're ready if that event happens.